If this movie starred Jun Bong Ho, you guys would love it.
The movie you're making me watch today is Bad Lieutenant 2092. No, 1992.
2092.
Starring Harvey Keitel, who everybody loves. You can't say you don't like Harvey Keitel. Schwartz, this was your movie. What's your
I love
one word?
Harvey Keitel.
What's your one word for this movie?
I was gonna go with obvious words like fucked or whatever. But I'm gonna actually. That's where you said. I was gonna say fun. I really was gonna say fun.
Oh my god.
Shocker.
Shocked. All right. My word is also obvious. I'm gonna borrow this one from the title. Bad. This movie was bad.
Do you guys
Anthony?
like movies or watch movies a lot, or is it just one of those things where you're on this podcast and you thought it'd be fun?
I watched 3 Korean movies yesterday, so I watched movies.
I can tell.
You can tell. Anthony, What was your word? Your word?
My word, I don't know. I forgot to pick a word. I forgot how we do this.
Just to say a word that reflects your thoughts on the movie.
Boring.
All right.
No, I don't want to say boring because that's too
slow works.
Kind of boring.
Uneventful.
Okay.
I can see that.
Because I'm not saying it's bad. Hold on, I'm gonna repatch my shit here because I don't think it's bad. I just fucking.
Yeah, I thought this movie was going to be a lot worse than it was because I remember this being a part of like the whole movies that I wasn't allowed to see, like Kids or Caligula or Bad Lieutenant and shit like this, to where people are like, you can't watch those fucking movies. It's too much. This was one of the first movies that ever got an NC-17 rating, and actually like they had to change it to be able to be sold in Blockbuster, which is kind of interesting. They had to got an R-rated version of it. I thought
what was in it. What was in it that made it not R? Sorry, I missed a little bit.
I'm not sure because I think we watched the rated R version, and I'm not sure what was in it.
I may be wrong, but I think there's a version of it where Harvey Keitel shows his cock. That might be the NC-17 version.
I think that's in another movie you're thinking of. It's called.
Oh, okay. I think that's also why Schwartz wanted to see it.
There's a movie where Harvey Keitel shows his cack.
Yeah, I think it's called Smoke.
Is that the one with
what's it look like? Is it weird?
Kate Winslet's in it and she goes crazy or something?
Yeah, Kate Winslet. She also shows her vagina.
Yeah, I saw that shit a couple years ago.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Anyway, I thought this movie was pretty good. I liked how the depiction of the fucked up cop in New York that kind of just does whatever he wants was pretty fun. Like, he's just a terrible person. And that's one thing I kind of liked about it. He was unforgivingly terrible. Like, he didn't give a shit who knew it. He didn't give a shit who had any opinions on him. Like, he was just a fucking terrible guy. And I guess it's the whole being in New York and seeing all the bad things that happen to the world and all that kind of shit is the reasoning behind it. Kind of like Morgan Freeman's character in Seven, except he wasn't a fucked up guy type of guy. But I thought the weakest part of it was how it was shot. There was nothing visually striking about this movie in any way. Like, there was not. I was trying to think of a part that I could be like, this was great. But as far as it goes being shot, there was nothing about it that was just striking. I agree that it was slow paced up until the first 30 minutes were interesting to me. I thought they were really good, and then it slows down, and it's not until he sees Jesus in the church that I thought it kind of picked up again, which was
picked up when he started crying for the rest of the movie.
I thought that was interesting though. Yeah, yo, Harvey Keitel has a weird cry.
It sounded like the fucking water boy, dude.
Nothing changed. I thought he was just fucked up, and he continued being a piece of shit after that. He never changed being a piece of shit.
Yeah, nothing happened from that point on.
The movie got more interesting at that part. Like, you saw Jesus, and then he went and he found the two guys and I thought he was going to kill those dudes. The fact that he put them on the bus, I was like, what was that? Like,
yeah, that was fucking stupid. What a terrible ending. He let the rapists go, and then he got killed himself. Like that shit was dumb.
You knew he was getting killed. I mean, come on. Everyone knew he was dying. Like, you knew it.
I mean, I didn't really think much about it. It didn't shock me by any means, but it was just like, okay, that's how they're gonna end the movie. That's kind of weak. And the fact that like he was more concerned about like his fucking Dodgers bet opposed to like a nun getting raped, like what a fucking terrible character.
Yeah, well, that's what he was. He was a terrible person, but that doesn't make him not. That makes him interesting. It doesn't mean it's a bad movie because he's a terrible person. Like, if a movie makes you feel something, that's good. Whether it's good feelings, bad feelings, sad feelings, weird feelings, as long as it makes you feel something.
Movie didn't make me feel anything though.
Nah.
Made me feel.
It was just like what a piece of shit.
I mean, yeah. It obviously he was fucked up. That's what it's called, Bad Lieutenant. You know, you could look at the poster and figure that out. You don't have to watch the movie.
I mean, I guess. I guess.
It was pretty straightforward. Of like, oh, look at all these despicable things that this piece of shit does.
Yeah,
it was scene after scene of him being an
things.
Asshole. That's all the movie was. It was one scene after another of him being a piece of shit. But then he goes
like this. For like the last 30 minutes of the movie, he does that. How does he die at the end?
He gets like shot in a drive-by. He's like in his car and someone rolls up and shoots him. It doesn't even show him dead. It was just that was it.
It was the bookie, the guy who owed the money.
Oh yeah.
That was implied. It never really showed that, but that's what you kind of pick up. That's what I picked up.
I mean, it could have been any of those people that he crossed in the way.
Could have been.
What was up with him making out with the old lady?
Making out with the old lady.
Yeah, he made out with the old lady on the couch.
Oh, the old. I do remember. Hold on a second.
Is that the shit he was like the lady he was getting his drugs from, or that bitch? Like, I don't know if I remember that part.
I can't remember.
To me, it was just another one of those scenes of him just being fucked up.
Yeah, I think it was the lady who kept shooting him up every time he walked in, and she shoot him up. That's the thing. It was just scenes of fucked up shit with like no storyline behind it.
And there's no reason why he's an asshole. There's no
reason to have made this movie.
And lieutenant's a high-ranking position. Who keeps giving this guy promotions?
Well, that's the thing. I think the backstory that didn't show is just a guy who's climbed up in this fucking police force who is just totally desensitized and doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? That's what I thought was interesting about it. And what I thought the most interesting part is not even the movie. The most interesting part is the ratings and the reviews it gets, because people love this movie. Scorsese called it like the third best movie of the 90s. It has a 7.5 at IMDb and 77% of Rotten Tomatoes. Me personally, I don't know how any of that's possible, but it's pretty great.
We're born in a different time. Yeah,
it was like a shittier version.
I know we're supposed to like look at our idols, but we can't be influenced by our idols because because we're influenced by our idols. That doesn't necessarily make it us have to be influenced by who they were influenced by, you know, because it was a different time. They were thinking a different way. He's a fucking 1,000 years old, Scorsese. This movie sucked.
The movie did not suck. It was an independent film that definitely made a fucking mark, man.
It was independent? When it came out,
totally independent. He made this and Reservoir Dogs back to back, which is actually a pretty good 1-2 punch. If you're talking to like people recognize Harvey Keitel for 2 movies, and it's this movie and Reservoir Dogs.
No.
Have you ever seen Pulp Fiction? Have you ever seen?
Yeah, but he was a small character in that movie. In those other 2 movies, he was the main.
You ever seen National Treasure 1 and 2?
Another small character.
What are you talking about? He's the main guy. He's like the main cop guy. He's the cop guy. He's always chasing Nick Cage.
This movie has a sequel that was made in 2016, directed by Werner Herzog. Van Lieutenant, Port of New Orleans, starring Nicolas Cage.
Apparently, it wasn't a sequel or a remake or related at all. Supposedly, that was the story. But it's
definitely not a remake.
It was like a based on kind of reimagining.
It's called Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's basically the same thing. It's just Nicolas Cage being a fucking dickhead the whole time.
But I guess the director Abel Ferrara was like pissed off that they even made a sequel / remake / reboot / reimagining.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I've seen one of his other movies called King of New York, starring Christopher Walken. It's actually a gazillion times better than this movie.
Well, that coming from you doesn't mean much.
So you're saying this movie?
If it's not an Asian cinema art house movie, Jake's not interested.
Damn, you guys hate each other. I want to see you guys fight.
Yeah, I have a question though. Did you watch this movie and did this character make you feel like a better person? Like, did it redeem you being a giant piece of shit? Because then you're like looking at Harvey Keitel like, I'm not that big of a piece of shit.
Oh my god!
Did it make you think that ever?
Well, actually, watching this movie, I thought about, damn, you're right, Jake. I'm really not a piece of shit. I might have to bump it up a little bit. And I thought if I would start killing people, you'd be the first one.
Killing
That's
people.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Heard
was
it here first.
Wait, did he do something fucked up back in the day? Was that?
They never told that. There was no exposition at all. It was just a bad movie and just things happened. That was all it was.
Gotta be you.
We'll never know.
With $1 million, so can't expect much.
Yeah. I mean, Harvey Keitel did a decent job being a terrible person.
He was great. Harvey Keitel was awesome. That scene when he's in the opening, when he goes to that fucking house and shoots up and he's dancing with those two women, I could not stop laughing. I was like, this is so ridiculous. That's amazing. He's just like this. He's dancing like this.
Man.
I was dying.
This is
dying.
Of every movie, and I'm including National Treasure that I know of Harvey Keitel being in. This is my least favorite Harvey Keitel movie for sure. Where does this rank on your Harvey Keitel movie, Schwartzes? On your Harvey Keitel movies, Schwartz?
Top three.
You're a fucking liar, dude. Think about it.
Well, he was really good in the pimp in Taxi Driver. I'm looking at his IMDb now, and I forgot he was the pimp in Taxi Driver, and he was really good. He was fucking awesome in that movie.
Top three Harvey Keitel roles, in my opinion. Number 1, Reservoir Dogs. Number 2, From Dusk Till Dawn. Number 3, Bad Lieutenant.
Oh yeah, From Dusk Till Dawn, he was good.
I feel like you just say
he's a good actor. This
is just not a good movie that he's in.
Yeah, this was a shitty version of Mean Streets. It reminded me of Mean Streets, kind of, but it was like bad.
On his top 4 and IMDb, it's Reservoir Dogs, Bad Lieutenant, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and Pulp Fiction.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I'm surprised The Grand Budapest is in that 4, but
yeah. Never seen it. Never seen any Wes Anderson movies.
Really?
You seen any of them?
Nope.
Interesting.
Really? Well, that's going to be one of my next picks for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Yeah. We're definitely watching Royal Tenenbaums soon.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think I tried
to go first to pick something else.
I'm down. Make me watch something I want to fucking watch. I'm down to watch a Wes Anderson movie. You know what I don't want to watch?
Yeah, they're all really good.
Any more Mr. Abel Ferrara movies? What else has Abel Ferrara made? King of New York?
Not much. I mean, if people saw this movie, I wouldn't give him a job.
The dude made a lot of independent films, but he really never got into the mainstream because of 2 things. 1,
he wasn't good.
He makes like borderline grindhouse movies, and 2, he's just not people like his attitude. He's a kind of a dick.
He has 50 directing credits.
Yeah, but none of them on a major movie.
I don't recognize any of these movies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's no Korean movies in there.
No, he probably didn't do any Korean movies.
Well, he's not Korean.
We might do a Korean movie next. I'm not sure. You'll see. We'll see.
What was your favorite scene in this movie, Mr. Schwan? Actually, hold on.
It's got to be
before you. Oh, it's the dancing scene.
No, it's got to be the Jesus scene. That was just so fucking weird.
I was honestly, I was just like, what the fuck am I watching at that point? I was like, what the fuck am I watching?
You're watching a movie about a guy. It's about a guy. There's nothing else. It's just you're watching this guy and his weird, fucked up life, and you're going through it for a couple of days. That's what you're watching.
Yeah, it wasn't enjoyable.
Hey, man.
And
it's
it
not
didn't
Indiana
even
Jones.
feel.
It's not Indiana Jones, I'll tell you that much.
No, and that's a guy, and we're following his day, and his day is much more interesting. I got to tell you.
That has a storyline. He's going after something. He's traveling the world.
You know what I love in movies? A story. Weird, right?
This had none. This didn't have one.
This was a guy going through his day, and you saw it unravel. You saw all the shit that he did that put him at this situation that you never got to see. You're seeing the aftermath of. You're seeing the end of that.
Much of the movie was filmed guerrilla style. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
So, like, poorly?
Essentially, yeah.
Is that a different word for poorly?
Low budget films. He didn't bother with permits.
I feel like there could have been a good story in there, but they just didn't use it. They just went other places with it.
I feel like
the whole nun thing and the whole like that whole fucked up story would like could have been like a good detective story. But
I agree.
He just ignored it and was too focused on like his fucking bets and his gambling addiction and doing drugs.
He was a drug addict.
I know.
He's a fucking drug addict.
But this could have like turned him around. Like he could have seen Jesus turn him around. He could have started detectiving the fucking rape thing. And instead of doing that, he just let the fucking rapist go and he just smoked crack and got killed.
He let the rapist go because the nun forgave them. That's why he let them go, because the nun told him to. That's why I let them go.
Yeah, but she's an idiot.
And I do agree that if it was about if it turned into a detective story where he got into some crazy situations and went to find these people, that would have been cool. But that's not what his character was. His character was a fucking scumbag. His character is just a dude who's trying to do bad things.
I see your justifications for this movie, but that doesn't make it like quality.
I'm not justifying anything because your guys' opinions aren't the right ones, you know? No one's the right ones by their opinions. Everyone's got their own opinions. This movie's got a lot of high ratings and it's not a lot of lists. Would I put it on those lists?
A lot of lists.
No, I would not. I'm agreeing with you that this was not a very good movie, but it's definitely not a bad movie. It's definitely not a movie where I'd be like, fuck that movie, don't watch it. It's definitely worth watching.
I would not
recommend this movie.
No, not at all. I would definitely not.
I don't know a single person that I could be like, yo, watch this movie. You're going to fucking love it, you know? Who do you know that you could tell, hey, watch this movie. You're going to love it.
Honestly.
So you got to tell them to watch this movie for historical purposes or what? You got to watch this movie because I want you to watch this movie?
I would think Schwartz. That would be the only person I'd be like, you would like a piece of shit movie like this. You should watch it. You would relate to this guy.
Yeah, I kill people, do heroin, and fucking.
Was he a murderer?
Who did he kill?
Murdering people.
I don't know. He killed some people. I promise.
He shot his radio like a cool guy.
I don't think you watched this.
I hated that scene.
I hated that too.
That was my favorite scene. I was gonna say that's my favorite scene. And he goes, and then he flips his siren on, and takes off. That was the best scene. That was the best scene of a terrible movie. I think that was like the first time he screamed like Waterboy. No, maybe it was.
You didn't notice those screams in. He had the same screams in Reservoir Dogs. Same thing. He definitely does in Reservoir Dogs too.
When?
Yeah.
When he's about to shoot him rock, and he's like, and he shoots him. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's true. But that movie at least had a good story to it.
Oh
it had a great story. It was an amazing story.
But there's other things you can find in it.
Mr. White.
What did you like about it? Tell me what you did like about it.
Mr. White was probably a terrible dude, but like at least he existed in a place where that was a good story.
I like Harvey Keitel. In fact, right before I watched this, I was watching something where Harvey Keitel came in, and I was like, God, I fucking love Harvey Keitel. And then you said, watch this. And I was like, fuck yeah, fucking Harvey Keitel movie, plays a cop. He's probably a bad lieutenant. And
on the nose, how on the nose that was.
I wanted to like it. I tried to like it. Oh my God. Was that a spit take, Shorts?
Yeah, sorry.
Jesus.
Shorts eating and drinking during a podcast like a pro. Go on, Anthony.
I wanted to like it. And I tried to, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get into it. I need a storyline. I need a storyline. Even the Coen Brothers' random series of events has a story that you could follow.
Oh my God! I think
they do better. They do no storyline pro status.
The Coen Brothers are some of the best writers ever. Let's just say that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Good stories.
I'm just realizing
here,
something.
Let's talk shit on the fucking writers here. Go ahead, Jake.
You know what movie had a story? Pushing Tin.
What?
This might be worse than Pushing Tin.
Is this a pivotal moment in WWMW? Wait, no, WW.
It could be.
No, in MMwM movies history.
Yeah, because you know how like sometimes when we talk out a movie, it makes you realize it's a little better, a little worse. I went in thinking this was one of the worst movies. I was thinking it's probably going to rank like just above Pushing Tin, but after talking it out, it might be at the fucking bottom of the list.
Oh my god, I gotta look at the list. That's amazing.
Pushing Tin was on the other night, and I will sit you up. It was on HBO, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta hit Jake up."
Oh, yeah, I definitely wouldn't have watched that.
It's such a good movie, though.
Let me ask you this:
it had a story.
If they remade Pushing Tin in Asia,
who would you have star in it?
They would need to get rid of that whole bomb threat sequence. That was dumb as fuck. I mean, if to be honest, if Song Kang-ho was in it, it would probably be. I would probably watch it.
It's so funny how much you like remember what exactly you hate about that movie. I don't even remember the bomb sequence.
We watched that shit like 6 months ago.
You remember the bomb scene where John Cusack's running out of the building?
Yeah. It was dumb as fuck. He's like, I gotta
slow
land
motion
these
dive
planes.
slow motion dive for no reason, and then like when Billy Bob struts out, like cameras rush him. No logic, no sense to it. No reason the bomb threat even happened. That was still never explained. It was just happening.
At least there was a bomb threat and a storyline prevailed.
True. There was a story there, and it aided to the story as poorly as the aid in the story was. There was a story. God damn.
I like
the lieutenant was that bad.
I like the way the interaction between him and the other cops in this movie a lot. Like, because it showed that, like, they all knew who he was, and they weren't quite as bad as him, but they're all kind of on that road of, like, maybe getting there. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, made cops look like terrible people. No, just watch the news.
A lot of them are.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
But a lot of them aren't. In fact, most of them aren't.
Yeah, maybe.
Remember that.
Maybe?
Most people are good.
I'd say it's about 60-40. Bad.
60,
most people are good.
I think it's like probably like 55-45.
Good.
Good to bad. Yeah, good.
I mean, if you think the opposite, then you should just kill yourself.
Are we talking cops or talking people in general?
Cops and people. They're like the same thing.
60-40.
Good.
Bad.
Anyway, where do you did you have a favorite scene, Jake?
No.
Did you have a least favorite scene?
Not really. They were all just bad. The whole thing.
Did you even watch this movie, Jake?
I did. There was the guy in the beginning where he told, I guess when he told his like basically telling his kids to disrespect their mother, I was like, wow, this is, oh, it was the aunt, my bad. Like right off the get-go, it was like, wow, this guy's fucking awful.
Yeah.
And then he robbed the store.
This is the thing.
Didn't care about a girl getting raped.
Hold on. Schwartz has got a thing.
Hold on. Even if you don't like this movie, we're doing a fucking podcast. You gotta have something to say besides for fuck this movie. This movie sucked. You gotta give some sort of insight.
I think I've said stuff.
What are you talking about? I said
insight.
I had insight.
It's just popping out. It's a cop out.
Okay, sorry. The lack of story, the poor camera work, the unlikable characters.
This is what we've been talking about the whole time.
I think I've said all that.
Just because the movie has unlikable characters doesn't make the movie bad, though. I mean,
no, not always.
Unrelatable characters.
This one did. That's true. He wasn't even relatable.
I thought the only good thing about this movie was Harvey Keitel's character. Everything else was just.
The only good thing about this movie is I like Harvey Keitel.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Same. That's about it.
Yeah.
At least Pushing Tin had like one or two good scenes.
Come on, Pushing Tin was okay.
No.
Pushing Tin was a great flick, and I would recommend it to anybody.
I would recommend Pushing Tin over this movie. Bad Lieutenant. That's for damn sure.
Bullshit. Okay.
So no, you didn't like the shooting of the thing scene. You didn't like the dancing. You didn't like the Jesus crying scene or the crying scenes after
the Jesus
that.
crying scene, it didn't really have much of an effect on me.
You didn't like the nun rape scene.
I did not like the nun rape scenes. Again, I had the criticism of I thought that would have been a better story to go into, but it did not do that.
Any single moment that any single fucked up shit that he did, whether he was pursuing or someone was pursuing him, could have been more interesting than the collection of scenes that was this movie. Is that enough insight for you, you fucking F-word, Schwartz?
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that you put a little effort into it. Thank you.
How about you put in a little effort into your movie choices?
I also agree. This is the thing. If I wasn't giving us these good choices, we'd be watching Indiana Jones and the fucking Korean version of Indiana Jones. So I gotta spice it up a little bit.
Number one,
like the really good Korean movies that we've watched. I chose Indiana
Jones because somebody hasn't seen it, and that's ridiculous. Just like Back to the Future. And number two, I don't know why you're talking so much shit on the Korean movies. Every Korean movie I saw was better than this fucking movie.
Listen, I'm only talking
except for Shoplifters, maybe.
Because Jake likes them.
Shoplifters was Japanese. That's not Korean.
Racist.
They have been good. I'm not gonna lie.
All the Korean movies have been dope.
The only one I didn't like was the Taxi Driver one. Everything else was good.
So good. That movie
was good.
Getting back to that, another great Harvey Keitel movie is Taxi Driver. He was pretty great in that.
Yeah, Jake brought that up when you were off walkie.
Oh, sorry. I had to answer the door, man. My bad.
Who's at the door?
Chipotle. Yeah, I agree though. This movie, it wasn't anything to write home about. I think in '92, when times were different and there really wasn't a lot coming out like this, I think this kind of was like a little shock to people's systems. I also think
when did Blue Velvet come out?
But I also think that the reason why it got a rated R was because people were not going to show it in theaters and not put it in Blockbuster videos. And I probably think that the rape scene was probably a little worse. And Jake might be right about the Harvey Keitel dick thing. I'm not sure. I thought that was another movie. But I think those might be the two things I cut out.
Blue Velvet came out in '86.
Yeah.
So this was not a shocking movie in '92.
Well, Blue Velvet's also an artistic fucking movie where there's not that much shocking things in it, honestly.
Would you agree that is what was attempted in this movie?
No, I don't think this was meant to be. I think David Lynch made Blue Velvet trying to impress people, trying to be like, look at my dreams, look at my thoughts. I want to show it to you in a very satire way. I think this movie was just the director being like, yo, let's make a movie about a fucked up guy. Let's get Harvey Keitel. Let's go out there. Let's fucking shoot something. That's what I think.
You don't think that he tried to make a artistic version of what he sees as his
I don't think I
independent
agree with
artistic version.
I agree with you guys that this isn't a very good movie. I don't think there was very much thought put into a shot list. I don't think there was very much thought put into the dialogue. I think it was more along the lines of, hey, we have this idea. We have Harvey Keitel. We have $1 million. Let's go out there and fucking guerrilla the shit out of this. That's what I think. I think Blue Velvet was planned to a T. I think it was dissected and edited in great ways. I think this was just, hey, we got this. Let's just do it.
Cool. I think we all agree on that.
Different approach for sure. I think you definitely will have to.
I'm not comparing those two movies. I'm comparing the style and the idea behind those two movies. I'm not comparing them by any means, but first, I would venture to say that this dude was somewhat influenced by David Lynch.
Really? All right. I don't.
You wouldn't think so? I mean,
not really.
It seems like this. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think, in my opinion, he was influenced by walking around New York City and being like, I just want to show something that I can do like easily, and we can do like by just having one character and base all around him. Blue Velvet's kind of like a fairy tale in a way. It's just like it doesn't seem real a lot of times. Like the town they live in, the clothes they wear,
That's just Lynch though. Lynch just feels like a fucking fairy tale. Any
exactly.
Of his movies have a surreal vibe to them.
I agree.
This was way more grounded, of course.
100%. I'm trying to think of a movie I would compare this to, like that you can say it went in there like that. I'm trying to think of something.
I mean, there's movies like Henry the Serial Killer or whatever that movie's called.
There you go.
Like that's those like follow style movies.
Yep. Even like that the horror movie we watched, the fucking Deep Red. Like you can even kind of. I mean, actually, no, that's not a good thing to say. But I agree. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Even Kids. Kids is another one of those movies. That's like, yeah. But Kids actually like that affected me. You know what I mean?
In a way, I can see that too.
This was great. What'd you say? What was the other one?
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems was definitely a much more constructed movie than this. But maybe Heaven Knows What. Heaven Knows What.
The gambling situation of just getting yourself in a worse
in New York.
Yeah. I thought Uncut Gems was actually a really good movie, though. This I wouldn't say. I thought
Uncut Gems was great.
Yeah.
Took me a while.
Gems was thousands times better than this.
I watched it at first, and I was like, I don't know about this one. Kind of.
I think you didn't like it though. I remember I was like, "Yo, you got to see this. You got to see this." I think you just expected a little bit more from it, is what I think it was. I think that's another very grounded movie. You know what I mean? I think.
Nothing. I mean, not nothing happens, but it is a very simple story.
Yes, for sure.
But it was great. In hindsight, it's a great movie.
Yeah. All right, so where do you guys rate this thing?
Jake.
I gotta look. I haven't looked at that shit in a while.
I think I said it earlier.
You're going last?
You finally fucking did it, Schwartz. You finally picked a movie that was worse than Pushing Tin, and this is on the bottom of my list. This movie was just straight trash.
Wow.
Good performance by Harvey Keitel.
All the way at the bottom.
Straight trash movie.
Was it a good performance? I guess it was the performance that was needed for the movie, but it didn't impress me in any means.
No.
I wasn't like, wow, what an actor, you know? It's just like.
Daniel Day-Lewis it.
What?
He didn't Daniel Day-Lewis it.
No,
he did not. Daniel Day-Lewis would have been doing all that shit.
But there was nothing good about this movie at all. And maybe that was the only good thing, is Harvey Keitel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this movie was a bad movie. I don't think I've seen much worse movies than this, but I agree. I wouldn't say it's like a great movie either. It's okay.
So it's at the very bottom for Jake.
Where's it yours, Schwartz? Middle? Very middle, since it's okay.
I'm going to say above Cool Hand Luke.
Above the Cool Hand.
So number 26.
All right.
Cool Hand Luke. Wow. Oh, wait, no. Cool Hand Luke is... Where are you, Schwartz?
26.
Okay, copy you. Wow, you got Cool Hand Luke pretty high there, Jake.
Cool Hand Luke is the worst thing ever. Someone made fun of it the other day. It was Family Guy. They go, "Hey, I'm going to prison. I got to get a lot of fucking, I got to get a lot of eggs so I can impress everybody." And I started dying, dude. I was like, "That's amazing."
It ain't the best. What is it? It's pretty middle for me. It's very like middle of the line.
Cool Hand Luke is 17 out of 33. So yeah, it's almost exactly middle.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Where are you putting, Anthony?
I'm throwing it down with Jake Poo there. I'm not putting it at the very bottom. I'm leaving Shoplifters at the very bottom. But wow. I would rather watch the Creep movies than have to sit through Bad Lieutenant again.
All right.
You fucking hate Creep.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be creeping up. No pun intended. I was actually just gonna say that. Let me bump up Creep a little bit. I'm gonna put it above Border. I'm gonna bump it up too. Is that fair?
Sure.
Because I'm thinking about it, I was like, do I ever want to watch Border again? Not really.
That movie was fucking weird, but it was good. It was unique. I think that movie was so good to me because of how unique it was. And I think that if you can make a unique movie, you're killing the game.
Well, fucking A, man. Any last words of Schmidt-Weiss for Bad Lieutenant 1992? 94?
Yeah,
92, 94?
Don't fucking bother, man.
Jake says
No,
don't bother.
I'd say you should watch this movie at least once just because it's worth one-time watch. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If you do, you do.
Why is it worth the watch?
Because Harvey Keitel gives a good performance. I think it paints a light on how being a cop could really change you in ways that aren't good. So I think that's interesting.
But of all Harvey Keitel,
I wish you guys could see Jake's face right now. That was the best face I've ever seen. In my opinion, this character is Morgan Freeman's character in Seven if he went off the rails. Morgan Freeman's character in Seven had the same thoughts as this guy, except he was a good person, so he never pursued any of it. That's how I look at it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Morgan Freeman wasn't like high on drugs the whole fucking Seven.
But what I'm saying is he was a cop who had a terrible outlook on the place that he lived and the people where he lived because of the shit he saw. And me personally, I think that is what made Harvey Keitel's character who he was in this movie because of the same reasons.
It's probably like half of New York feels the same.
You know what? I ain't gonna argue that.
I didn't care about his life or story at all. Nothing in that made me want to keep watching. Nothing in that movie made me want to keep watching other than the first 10 minutes of Harvey Keitel.
When did you do this?
Yeah. But even that was kind of a point where I was just like, what the fuck am I watching?
He was ripped. Did you notice that? Harvey Keitel was fucking ripped. That
he looked good.
How the fuck? What was that about? Like,
Kid got a piece on him. We could have seen it, but they rated it R instead.
All right, so yeah, I guess the last word of advice for me is if you're gonna watch this movie, watch the NC-17 version so you see the dick.
Got to see the dick.
Yeah,
all right,
of course.
Schwartz, last word.
It's an hour and a half of schmut either way. So
last word. Schwartz says, "Watch the one with the dick."
Watch the dick one.
All right. Bad Lieutenant 1992, directed by Abel Ferrara, available on HBOMAX. Watch it or don't.
Fucking don't.
Do it.
Save yourself an hour and a half.
Do it.
The choice is yours and yours alone, but if you must choose, choose wisely. I say don't watch it. 2 real shitty movies in a row. Next week's movie is going to be a little better based on all accounts. Royal Tannenbaums, 2001, available on Amazon Prime. Royal Tannenbaums by famed director Wes Anderson. I've never seen a single Wes Anderson movie. This will be my intro to Wes Anderson. So watch that, listen along. See you next week on Making Me Watch Movies. P.S. Shout out to Danny Davidson and the Big Cat, our loyal listeners. Okay, bye.